all dungeons anyway, so there's not going to be quite as much penalty for other etc. checks as you might think.
And we are underway. Starting up with 20 rupees inside Link's house.
Yep, with the standard, already a map check. Crystals and pendants don't really mean a whole lot, except for it's entirely possible for an item that's required to clear a pendant dungeon to be located in Aga Tower, or in Ganon's Tower, I'm sorry. So just an interesting aside for that particular map check. Otherwise, we're going everywhere. It does not matter.
Yeah, Ganon's Tower is not the end-all be-all this time around, because we will have to fight Aga 1 as well as clear those pendants. We start off with the Fire Rod.
Fire Rod, always an interesting choice. It is the most powerful weapon to get through the escape sequence, and a glove upgrade already. Nice.
Already gained some huge firepower and some materials later on, early on this seed. The Fire Rod being, while it has a lot of power, its downside is it takes a lot of magic off of your magic pool. So they're going to have to be really accurate in order to get through this escape sequence.
Yeah, 8 shots. That's all you're given if you have a full magic bar. Now, they were gifted full magic when they got that particular rod from Uncle. So let's see how they do their shots. They're going to have to be really particular about farming for bombs through this escape sequence. Some people try to get a couple shots in here with some pots, others running by. A popular strategy that I've seen recently is to hold off on farming until you get some density down there with the rats and the throats.
Yeah, we grabbed the Dark Cross key out of the compass chest, or the map chest, rather.
Really interesting to see all of these runners at this point in time. Oh, we just saw Technolink grab a pot and kill a soldier, but no one else is really doing any farming whatsoever. They're either banking on those bomb drops later on, or in a chest or something. Just real interesting to see. No real farming yet from anyone.
Yeah, with the fact that the Fire Rod, again, with only 8 shots with a full magic meter, they're going to have to be pretty precise, and they might want to hold off on farming bombs until pretty much later on when they grab bombs somewhere, either in Kakariko or in some other chest.
All right, Ravis, first one to Zelda, and a piece of heart. Garbage.
Yeah, with that fire rod, they'll take care of that ball and chain guard with just one hit. Not a big deal for them.
Worth noting, we have not yet seen the map for the escape sequence. Now, the map can be in a lot of different locations, but most notably, it can be located in the final sanctuary chest. So it's entirely possible that we'll be able to skip and gain a couple seconds if they are aware. Just got to see where that map is going to be. Right now, it's like, what do we have? A 1 in 5 chance now, 20%, that it's actually going to be in that sanctuary chest?
Yeah, we only have Dark Cross, we have the Back of Escape, as well as that Sanctuary. That makes up 5 possible locations where that map could be, provided that they find bombs somewhere down the road, or if they have decided they want to farm and risk a possibility of wasting magic.
Ravis, as we're getting ready to go into the back, is in the best shape in terms of magic, has a little bit more, I think 1 more shot than all of the other runners. I think he's got 4 shots left. Everyone else looks like they're about at the 3-shot mark. And you do have that one, the boss of the escape sequence, the final key rat that you have to take into consideration. That guy's slippery.
Yeah, no kidding. And now, here's something to be interesting about the randomizer. Now, normally, you were supposed to be getting the lamp pretty much either in Link's house, the chest right next to Uncle, or in Zelda's chest. But since this is a randomizer, we don't have it. There's that map, by the way. Since they don't have it, the game is hard-coded to give the lamp to the runners just so they can get through this escape sequence only in the standard mode.
Oh, Technoleak ended up getting a full magic drop, so none of these runners have found any bombs up to this point in time. Oh, Ravis is trying... Okay, got the final fire rod shot off, but does not look like anyone... Technolink might be the only one able to get some bomb drops, but even doesn't look like that. That's 3 chests that is going to haunt every single one of these runners, and I promise you, they all feel behind because they think someone else got the bomb drop.
Yeah. The good news, though, is they do have that map, so they won't have to worry about finding the map eventually later on or in this upcoming Sanctuary chest, as Ravis makes it through the Sanctuary in pretty quick fashion, of about like 5 minutes and 30 seconds, and then a heart piece inside the Sanctuary chest.
Yep, Caladris also got a full magic drop, but also was not able to farm anything. So Ravis, first one out. Yeah, very, very quick time. If you can get sub 6 minutes in an escape sequence, you're doing pretty good. Now we're going to follow what looks to be a pretty traditional path. Ravis looks like he's going to skip exactly checking what's on Lumberjack Ledge because we're going to have to kill Aga anyway. Doesn't matter right now. But...
And Edium saved and quit so that he can farm some bombs in this particular location. And he does grab that bomb on his first go. He's going to be resetting the room just so he can farm for more. And there's a heart piece on the mushroom spot.
Just 10 arrows, so Ravis is going to do a save and quit. Meanwhile, it looks like both Technoleak and Caladrius are going to be checking. Looks like we have a tree pull for 1 rupee at a time. The bush crab is only giving us 1 rupee at a time, but we are getting a Lumberjack Ledge check here from Technolink.
Yeah, it makes sense. This is the standard route that I would normally take, even if it's open or standard, and it looks like to be a green rupee.
Man, single green rupee on Lumberjack Ledge, single green rupee from from checking things out on the bush crab and the tree pole. There's just lots of green rupees all over the place right now.
And there was only 20 rupees inside the library.
And just arrows on the maze game, or just another 20 rupees there. Man, this is a lack of Rico right now. There's been nothing good up to this point in time. I'm hoping that we end up getting some direction here directly.
Yeah, but Eddie again did farm bombs. He saved and quick after making to the escape. He doesn't have that information about Lumberjack. So, I mean, for him, this won't be if he goes there, it won't be a big deal for him. And starting out with the heart piece inside the chicken hut, as well as 20 rupees in the back of the tavern.
All right, so Technolink and Etienne are going to give us our first look at some of the main stashes here. Bottle and a sword. Okay.
Not bad. With the sword, of course, that's always nice to have. A magic bag for Edium. And with that... Oh, there's the boots, too.
Boots. I also saw magic powder over there on Technolink's side, so... That's pretty much everything that we got. I think Bottle Vendor is going to be the only thing that we haven't checked. Book! Boots and book from everything. I have a strong suspicion that we're going to be heading over to Desert Palace in short order here.
Yeah, with the Desert Palace being pretty much being able to complete it, even if it's boots locked, 10 arrows for the sick kid.
Zetar Wars 999. Yes, I do remember when complaining that CAC wasn't stacked. That was 5 minutes ago. I am not a goldfish. Thank you.
I think it's Star Wars with the emphasis on the Z.
Okay, I get it.
Anyway, and there was also bombos for Edium.
Yeah, so I mean, gloves, book, and boots. I mean, I don't know if there's really another play you make other than going to over to Desert Palace. This is a seed that is very strongly pointing in a single direction right now.
Yeah. And remember, regardless if it's a pendant dungeon, our runners have to complete it. And Eddie are making their way over to the bonk rocks, taking advantage of those boots right out of the gate. And a lamp.
That's interesting. Right now, that lamp grants access actually to at least up to Death Mountain to get the old man, and it does look like that's where Etienne is going to be heading right away. Gonna check the lumberjack ledge. But that is interesting because it does give us logical access at least up Death Mountain. We can't really do a whole lot other than save the old man and peek a few things. But that does unlock some other possibilities, so we'll see what ends up happening here.
Yeah, only Eddie, when he decides to go up the mountain, he will only be able to do the old man and look at Spectacle, the top of Spectacle Rock, and inside Spectacle.
I'm a little surprised that no one has gone immediately back to check those escape chests yet. That always plays in the back of my mind. Ravis is doing kind of the traditional routing, checking the watery dam area. Going to see what we have here, but everyone else, we'll see what ends up happening.
A heart piece inside the dam. You now have to open up the water gate in order to look inside what the treasure has. And looks like Edium is making the early ped check, which makes sense in my mind because with the book being picked up this early, it makes sense to go for the ped read before anyone else would. And just a little piece of love, so that takes care of the ped for this seed.
On one hand, that's good news, but on the other hand, we have at least one of the pendant items will already be able to have access to clear it. On the other hand, there's some others. Bombs on the desert ledge, and Ravis is reading the seed right now. Technolink is going to be diving down. Looks like maybe. Meanwhile, Etienne is going and following kind of a more traditional route over here, checking Mini Moldorm Cave. Man, so many different directions that everyone's going right now.
Yeah, for Ravis, this makes sense to go to Desert Palace this early in the seed, just so that because they had the items over there, and there was pretty much nothing in the back of Escape.
And over here, rupees, bottle, and love in Mini Moldorm. So not a whole lot there. It seems like Ravis reading the seed. It feels like this is the correct decision, but we still got to see what else he ends up finding here.
Now, the one thing Edium could do, now because he is heading over to the Desert Palace area. Well, he will be eventually, hopefully. He has Zora money. He can fake Flipper and check the hobo. He can't necessarily check the waterfall fairy because he'll need that moon pearl to reset his position. He can check Zora ledge and then, of course, check Zora himself.
What's Technolink doing? Okay, so Red Boomerang. There's some cash in the big chest in Swamp Palace. Okay, so that's one treasure chest we won't have to open. That's actually a great hint tile there on Ravis's side.
Yeah, a spectacular hint for him, and Ravis is going to immediately head down over to desert, over to Lam Molus, and again making their way into Agina's cave.
Agina, we have not checked yet. Ravis is doing kind of a more traditional routing to go ahead and do Desert Palace and then route Agina afterwards. But Etienne, just a full heart container. It's a very healthy seed up to this point in time. Lots of heart containers, lots of heart pieces right now for it still being sub 15 minutes. Sitting at, 7 hearts already?
Yeah, 7 hearts is nothing to scoff at this early in the seed. And of course, with since they're only on Greenmail, and so far we have not crossed into the Dark World just yet. This is going to be pretty smooth sailing for most of the runners going forward into hopefully grabbing a blue mail. If not, then they're going to have to be pretty cautious later on.
Something should be here on Landmo. Ravis is going through here. There's not a whole lot of other options to check unless we're diving over here to Eastern Palace. It feels like something's got to be on land mode. I've only seen one item, I think, using that green potion to refill the magic. Fire rod shots just do amazing work on Landmo. This ought to be a pretty quick fight.
Yeah, it's only 2 hits for each Landmo. And just like that, the Lamillas are down. And only a compass for the drop. And Ravis has claimed the first dungeon of the seed in just under 60 minutes.
Caladrius wanting that superior boomerang right there. And yes, absolutely. The red boomerang is superior. I don't care what you boomerang folks say. You're wrong.
Yeah, it's clearly the best boomerang in the game. Don't at me.
I'm glad we can agree on that, Professor. All right, so Ravis is now cleaning up, doing Agina. We'll see where he goes. So there was nothing in Desert, even though everything was pointing towards Desert Palace. Nothing was there. So what? Are we going up Death Mountain, or are we going over to Eastern Palace right now? What do you?
Well, it looks like Ravis is making their way. He's starting in the Sanctuary. He's going to be starting with the Bag of Escape. He will find out that there is nothing there.
Tallwind 7, Death Mountain for the tablets. We can't get to the tablets quite yet. We don't have the mirror or hookshot to get actually to the top. So, yeah, I mean, it could be up there, but there's kind of a lower % chance. We'll have access to 3 items in the back of Sahasrala's hut, and then 3 theoretically in Eastern Palace. I think the percentages, go over to Eastern if I'm looking at the logic of it, but we do have access to the Old Man, which is locked behind the Old Man, and then at least 1 more item plus a hint. So it's 2 and a hint versus possibly 6 on Eastern Palace. I don't know. It's a tough call at this point.
Yeah, and speaking of Sahasrala, ADM making their way over to the Eastern Palace area. He will check Sahasrala.
Another full heart and another 300. That's 4 300 rupees I think we've seen at different places. 1 in Desert, 1 in Sahasrala, at least 1 in Kakariko. And I think that we've seen something elsewhere. Man, it's a rich seed. It's a healthy seed, but we're given absolutely no direction.
Yeah, the good news about having all those 300s is that they won't have to worry about money after all this. They'll be able to pay for Zora. They'll be able to pay Kiki. Pretty much all the things that they would need to do items or even get the dungeons is all readily available. And Ravis, I believe he might have taken a Death Warp.
Yeah, I think he got the item and then took a death there. Although a save and quit would have been just as effective. Etienne is in Eastern Palace. This is kind of the higher % play, but nothing was in the back of Sahasrala. Ravis looks like following shortly behind. Let's see where Caladrius Technolink is currently on that Landmo fight.
Yeah, this play is not too bad. Although I wouldn't be surprised if after this they would probably want to go for the. To be fair, they're still looking for that Moon Pearl, so that way they can reset their position, or even better, the Flippers.
Oh,
there's the hookshot.
Hookshot. That's your Death Mountain right now. Be able to, you know what? If I were Etienne, I might even save and quit right now. That hook shot giving you access to Eastern Death Mountain after you already have access to, getting up to the mountain, at least logically, between the lamp and the gloves. Yeah, just go, man.
Yeah, with the hookshot being in Eastern Palace, it's not surprising that if he decides after he goes through these remaining checks, being this coming chest over here, the map chest, which has the big key, the big chest, and then the vanilla big key chest. He'll probably have the mountain, and the boots are in Kakariko. Not really too surprising. We already seen this. That is our guaranteed boots hint.
And the
And
Moon
speaking of,
Pearl. Wow.
yeah,
Okay.
that was a big play for Edium, and Ravens will be right behind him pretty soon.
And ladies and gentlemen, this is why I don't run anymore, because I make dumb calls like, yeah, go ahead and leave a dungeon halfway through it.
Yeah, you do not want to leave any dungeons behind. You just want to go through them, and if you think there is something of worth, just if there is something of worth, keep going. And even if there isn't anything of worth, you might want to just clear it out just to make sure you cover all your bases.
So Hookshot, Moon Pearl, and did we already get the third item in Eastern Palace?
I believe we did.
Yeah, I want to say we have. I just can't remember what that third item was. Etium, all right, is kind of leading the pack. Ice Rod, that's nice to get off your list of things. Old Man had the Ice Rod. That's the only thing that's ever required for is Turtle Rock, and we got to clear it. So that's a nice thing to be off the checklist there. That can be buried sometime.
Yeah, all they really need to do to enter Turtle Rock at this point is to get the cane of Samaria, and we are off to the races. 10 arrows on top of Spectacle Rock. It's going to enter blind, which is the play that a lot of the runners, pretty much most of the runners would make. It's not bad. You're not wasting time, and we get 3 bombs inside Spectacle Rock.
So Technolink is actually doing. Oh, we had the Western Swamp Palace hint there. Didn't look like it was anything necessarily worthwhile. Technolink, though, is doing the fake flippers trick now that he has. No, he does not have the Moon Pearl. He's just doing it. He hasn't been to Eastern.
No, he will be missing out on that Waterfall Fairy check. And he's saving a quitting after that. I'm just looking to check Hobo. I wouldn't be surprised if Edian decides to also fake flipper, but this time go deeper than that. Actually, I'll explain more about the fake flipper when we get another fake flipper possibility, maybe from Edian when he decides to go there.
And meanwhile, both Ravis and Technolink seem to be going up Death Mountain, going to be following Etienne. Caladrius is a little bit further behind, although Caladrius has checked, I think, a couple other things. There's the mirror and blue tunic. So that is our access to the other side of Death Mountain. Just going to have to kind of take the long way if we want to get back.
Now, if they want to clear Hera, they can clear Hera too. Although they're gonna have to use spin strats and on Moldorm, and there's the Titansmiths.
That is our Dark World access at this point in time. Getting Titansmiths with the Moon Pearl will have access at that point in Kakariko Village, but that's our only access right now. So still no access to the eastern part of the Dark World. Might we have the super mysterious Pyramid Hammer Fairy? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a possibility. Of course, we don't. Our runners will still have to fight Aga 1 because, well, this is all dungeons. This Aga 1 is not necessarily the end-all be-all for Dark World access, and that was the single arrow on top of the floating islands.
The Arrow of Destiny. Just going to probably sit there the entire time.
Yeah. So Edia making their way over to Spiral Cave. which is also a good play if when you're going through Paradox Cave, and you might as well just have another check right there. And another 100 rupees for Edium.
It's like Technolink is on his way over here to the Eastern Palace area, which does appear to be kind of the key to go. And Etienne is going to go into the Dark World, and why not go ahead and knock out all the chests that are over here? You can even get Hookshot Cave because you got the Hookshot. So great routing here by Etienne right now, and I think all the others are going to follow because this is just a stacked place to get items.
Yeah, with the mirror being in Paradox Cave, he can either mirror race or clip through the blocks like Edium was doing just a little bit ago.
The bow. Oh my goodness. This is just an absolutely ridiculous Eastern Death Mountain. So many items are up here. Wow. And this race just kind of blew wide open. We have so many options of what we can do now.
Yeah, Edium can now clear Eastern Palace, can do so many other things. Now, Bombos is on Turtle Rock, so if he wants to open it up, he will need a hammer.
So
Now,
we're a hammer and a cane of Samaria away from full clearing Turtle Rock access with the fighter sword. That sounds a little bit intimidating. Silvers!
Wow! Big pickup for Edium.
And the Master Sword. So we can go ahead and get the tablet that's like right next door over here that I'm sure Etienne is preparing to do.
Yeah, this routing is almost godlike, I would say.
It's everything just seems to be falling perfectly into place for Etienne. It's a very linear seed up to this point in time. The seed has told you exactly where it wants to go, but caution though, when it opens up like this and we're still sub 30 minutes, here's the flute.
Oh, wow. Meyer is now available.
Here's the problem. When things open up this quickly, I mean, we still have key pieces of the puzzle missing. We still have the hammer missing. We still have the cane of Samaria missing. We still have the flippers missing. Those are all going to end up being required. And when it's just a few items and we have this much of the world open to us, it's going to play a little bit of havoc.
Yeah, and here's the fire rods hint that we got from the start of the seed, so not too useful. Now, and Tower of Hera is fire locked, but not like that matters because, like the hint mentioned, the fire rod was on our uncle.
Etienne with a nice coffee break. Go ahead and get your refills if you need one.
Yeah, Edium now has some time to think about what he can possibly do after the seed, after this Hera. Now, if I was Edium right now, after I clear Tower of Hera, I would activate that flute right now.
Absolutely. I think you activate the flute. We still don't have, I mean, and you're right there in the neighborhood. I say you go Dark World, and Village of Outcasts is right there, and that's another pretty stacked area. Might as well clear that out. You can also, you have the health, you have the armor, you have the fire rod. Go ahead and clear out Skull Woods there while you're at it.
Yeah, or if you want to take a kind of a longer approach, check Misery Meyer's medallion, check Meyer's shed, maybe check Checkerboard Cave, and then head back into the Village of Outcasts and clear Thieves Town and maybe Skull Woods.
So, unfortunately, Technolink Yeah, Technolink followed my advice, which is going to prove to be disastrous. He noped out as soon as he saw that hook shot. Remember that Moon Pearl's in the big treasure chest. Technolink is going to find himself really far behind in very short order.
And we did get a good hint there from just only cash on the purple chest. So now Edium is now making their way into the Moldorm fight with a Master Sword. He will have to do some spin strats, and it will be a little bit longer because he does not have a hammer, does not have Tempered Sword. So you have to play pretty safe. Good use of the fact that if you keep pushing ahead, pushing into Moldorm, you will not fall off. And with that, Edium takes down Moldorm. And he picks up Quake.
We don't know if that Quake's going to be required. We already have Turtle Rock with Bombos. If Quake is for Misery Mire, that would just be... That's the icing on the cake. I mean, this is already one of the most stacked Death Mountains I've ever seen. And to have just another required item on Moldorm, just... I mean, how spoiled are we?
Yeah, it's a 33% chance that Misery Mire will be Quake. And Edium gonna cover his bases and gonna be checking King's Tomb while he's there. Makes sense.
It's a very quick check. Yeah, might as well go ahead and do it.
Yeah, nothing too wrong with that. It's only a heart piece. But now, Edium, I wouldn't be surprised if you would be going over to Kakariko, activate the float, in which he is making their way to that. Caladrius doing a kind of an unconventional way of getting through that tile room and just leaving the switch on blue instead of red, and now Edium is now activating his flute.
Yep, doing... I mean, the flute is going to be great in terms of maneuvering and getting around, but I think this is just a stop. I don't think he actually flutes and does anything right now. He's going to go, I imagine, straight north. Oh no, he's fluting away. He makes me a liar.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, he's going to check Misery Mire like I had predicted. It's just a little small check. It's not much of not a big deal. He has Quake. He can try and see if that is possible, and that's Ether.
Ooh, Ether. Okay, so the one medallion we don't have yet. That's interesting. He gets a bug net, so another unique item, and a big 20. Not a whole lot in the shed, unfortunately. Etienne might, and this is something that chat pointed out, didn't actually go to clear Desert Palace. I think he got the items, but didn't actually clear it. So he's like, oh, I'm in the neighborhood now. Let's do it.
Yeah, this makes huge sense for Edium. He has the big key already. He might as well just go and clear Lamulus and then make a stop into Checkerboard Cave, then go into the Village of Outcasts, or even better, Skull Woods.
So the extra nice thing about this is he has silvers. So even though we were able to get really quick clears from everyone else, his is probably going to be even faster because of that delay. In the meantime, Technolink is over here because he noped out of Eastern Palace before getting the Moon Pearl. I mean, he lost out on both the Master Sword and Hookshot Cave. He lost out on the flute because he didn't have the Master Sword, and it took him a little bit longer to get there through the Tower of Hera. So Technolink's eventually going to have to make his way over back to Eastern. Meanwhile, Caladrius gets his Quake. Ravis already done the completion. Is checking out the same things. I guess he's kind of neck and neck with Etienne at this point in time. They both cleared out about the same.
Yeah, and Edia makes quick work of Lamolus. And again, pretty quick, quicker compared to using the fire. Just one arrow to the heads, and they go down like dominoes.
Yep, so in kind of
And,
the same straight line path, it looks like Ravis and Etienne are now kind of back in the same place. Fetch quest! Oh, they're my favorite.
So, yeah, that opens up the digging game. And this is, wow. So many items checks are opening up rapidly. And yeah, Ravis is taking that shovel all the way over to... Oh no, he's actually going to be floating out. So Eddie will be checking that digging spot.
Yep. Follow your fetch quests as soon as you get them, because you never know. Ravis, meanwhile, is going into the Dark World. He's probably going to try to route the southern route of the Dark World in with the shovel check. So he's going to try to make it more efficient. And will be rewarded for doing so, because it's not necessarily anything important, as Etienne finds, but just a piece of heart.
Yeah, it's a out of the way check. Well, for Eddie, but it is still kind of like, if you want to follow him up, yeah, follow him up is always nice. Eddie now following Ravis, maybe going into Skullwoods, but can also check the Village of Outcasts too. But he is going to Skullwoods. He will be following Ravis in. You also get our map check. A pendant on Turtle Rock and a green pendant on Swamp Palace, and our 5-6 crystals being on Thieves Town and Pod.
So one of the nice things, Misery Mire being a crystal, I was a little bit worried that both Turtle Rock and Misery Mire were going to end up with pendants, and that would have put the possibility of the Cane of Samaria actually in Ganon's Tower. So I think we dodged a bullet there on that. But
Yeah,
conversely, Swamp Palace, green pendant, but Ice Palace is a crystal. So no, I think at this point there's nothing that we're missing that could possibly be in Ganon's Tower.
yeah. And pretty much the reason why you would have said Cane of Samaria would have been Ganon's Tower is because the not so big importance of Ganon's Tower being a huge concern, because the way that pretty much the Ganon's Tower is kind of similar to how Crossworld works, in the fact that Ganon's Tower is only just a location in all dungeons. I mean, sure, you have to get through it in order to, open up Ganon when you finally clear Agalo 1. But yeah, if it was something like that, then we would have had a problem, as Edium drops down into the Mothula fight.
No, Edium is being very aggressive in this Mothula fight, and I'm always worried about being hyper aggressive in this particular fight. It can really do a number on you, but he's doing all right so far. Down to 2 hearts.
Yeah, he's going to be pretty cautious here, and knocks him down. It's rewarded with 50 rupees bounty, and he picks up the second crystal of the race.
Ravis, with a much cleaner Mothula fight, gets through it right there. Goes through. I believe Etienne still has some treasures to pick up. I don't know about Ravis, though. Technolink, meanwhile, finally getting back over here to Eastern Palace, might have realized the mistake at this point. Caladrius on his way through.
Yeah, and it looks like Ravis pretty much went to Mothula as well, just to clear him out, and he will be working their way back. Or no, he actually did. He actually did pick up some chests on the way, so he will have to make their way back through. My apologies. And yeah, there's Technolink grabbing the Moon Pearl, and he saves and quits out of there.
Oh, Caladrius got knocked into the Wallmaster, so has to restart this portion of Skullwoods again. That's hard to see whenever you do something and it feels like you just kind of unfairly get knocked into a Wallmaster.
It's even worse when you're falling down into the pit and a Wallmaster grabs you.
Absolutely. All right, so Ravis is now in the Village of Outcasts. Etienne looks to be heading that way as well.
He picks up a 10 bomb pack from the C-shaped house, Etienne making their way into the treasure game. And only 20 rupees. A little bit of a high five for Etienne and Ravis.
So interesting story. That 10 bomb pack is also a unique item. It is considered the bomb pack that drops if your uncle were to give you bombs as part of the escape sequence. All the others are just either 3 bombs or something like that. The 10 bomb pack, though, is what your uncle would give you if that's going to be your escape weapon.
Yeah, and Ravis picks up a bottle inside Thieves Town. Etienne checking Bumper Cave. That's always a good play to make. Checking Bumper Cave just so you can possibly eliminate checks and pop locations. And a piece of heart is on top of it.
So the main item that we're missing right now is the hammer. The hammer is going to block really a lot of access to the overworld. We're missing access without the flippers or the hammer. We don't have access to Eastern Dark World at all right at the moment. We're also missing access to Ice Palace. We can't beat the bosses to Ice Palace or even get into Turtle Rock right now. And then Palace of Darkness, of course, we're missing the hammer for that. So, yes, that hammer is kind of the biggest piece of the puzzle that's missing right now. And there are lots of places it can be.
Yeah, there's only 10 arrows inside Graveyard Ledge that Etienne had checked. And Ravis makes their way over to the digging game.
Oh, Technolink and Ravis actually found the flippers in the brew house, isn't it? There in Village of Outcasts. So we do have access to the east side of the Dark World.
Yeah, that opens up Swamp Palace. Zora is now in Logic. Goes the Waterfall Fairy. Ravis checking K45. And only 5 rupees. And Etienne is going to be carrying doing the blacksmith fetch quest. And yeah, as you pointed out before, oh, that's Tempered Sword on Stumpy.
Hey, that's amazing. And then we see Ravis looping in the dig game in with that. So yeah, he's doing the south route and doing everything. Etienne is doing the Jeremiah chain, so we'll see what's going on.
Yeah, this is a good play for Etienne. He has the knowledge about the purple chest though, and that was a shield. Putting that blacksmith term to good use.
Oh, Ravis looks like he's going to go down here and says, hey, one tablet had some value on it. Let's check this other one.
Yeah, and now Etienne has also mirrored into the magic bat without needing to use the hammer. That's another good way to get into the magic bat area. And red mail for Ravis.
Just rupees there in the magic bat cave, so still missing some key pieces. I believe Ravis, though, is going to be our first to check Hype Cave. Guys, we're going to have to get your guesses in chat. What grade are we going to give Hype Cave this time around? What are we going to do? Is it going to be an A+ cave? I mean, there's not a whole lot we need left, but man, if Hammer's here, that's hard to argue giving that any less than a B. 2 of 10, 3 of 10. Here's your guesses. I don't know, Professor.
Yeah,
What do we got?
honest, 2. I've never been too enthusiastic about Hype Cave, especially in V30.
All right, here we go. We have Big 20. Heart, arrows, heart. Yeah, that's a 2 of 10.
Yeah, like I said, I've been never enthusiastic about Type Cave. It is a check. It's worth 5 checks, but it's never good. So, well, not never good. There have been cases where it's been good. But in general, it's been bleh.
I don't know. I like getting hyped for Hype Cave. I guess I'm old school like that, I suppose.
Yeah, I totally get it. And Raven is going to do a blind check over on the Lake Highway on only 300 rupees again.
So this is interesting. Caladrius is actually going deep and completing Thieves Town. I think everyone else checked the first 4 and then noped out, which is a common thing you do if you don't have the hammer. Remember, the big treasure chest is hammer locked in this one. Now, if, and this is a big if, there's still the treasure chest back by Blind's area. If that chest has the hammer, that would be huge for Caladrius and would just instantly put him right into the driver's seat.
Yeah. And Ravis looks like he's going to be heading over to possibly the pod area in a more unconventional spot that you could take if you have the flipper. Because normally you need those hammer pegs, those hammers to knock down the hammer pegs, and Ravis is checking the pyramid ledge.
I imagine you're probably going to lump in catfish as well. Oh, and in the blind hut was the cane of Berna. Wrong cane we're looking for. My favorite cane.
Yeah, the only thing it could possibly open up, the only thing that opens up is Spike Cave. And oh, this is actually interesting. Ravis is going to be routing in Aga 1.
This is interesting. Let's take a look. So Thieves Town, and what was the other 5-6 dungeon?
Pod.
Okay, so the only reason I can imagine doing Aga 1 right now is if you think maybe the fairy will hold the hammer. But now it can't because you need the hammer to clear pod. So that's not the case. So I don't know what he's doing. Maybe he just needs time to think, and this is something you can kind of turn your brain off and go.
Yeah, but I can also imagine he's probably routing in Aga 1 so he can also make his checks a little more, make it more streamlined for him. Get the pyramid ledge, get catfish, mirror into the Zora area, check the waterfall fairy, and also check the Zora ledge and Zora. Maybe then go down a pod. Not sure.
Yep, I'm not entirely sure. I mean, you get a hint at very least.
Unique help items held by someone friendly. That doesn't really tell us much.
Let's see. The someone friendly really I think only necessarily means Sahasrara with the green pendant turn in. Oh god. I mean, he can't hold hammer because we still need it for swamp. But oh, that could be something. Catfish, Zora. Although I would argue that the catfish isn't actually friend.
Eh. It counts as part of the someone-friendly suffix. And Eddie, I'm actually going to be opening up this room to find. Ooh, there. Well, that actually. Oh, that really that hint only just was the shovel hint. Now Ravis making their progress over in through the Aga 1 fight.
Yeah, Etienne looks like going to be going to this Eastern Dark World area now. Technolink, kind of last spotting over here to Dark Death Mountain, finally going to get over here. He will find the bow, he will find the Master Sword. All of his hopes and dreams are now about to come alive.
Yeah, with that alone, he will have Tempered Sword, because he'll have that bow. He'll also have Silver Arrows. And A Rivers makes quick work of Aga 1. And yeah, only, I believe that was 50 rupees over on the desert ledge, the pyramid ledge, rather.
Technolink with the anger slashes. He triple dipping Eastern Palace now, realizing,
Yeah, you triple dipping a dungeon is never the best idea.
all right, so Ravis is going to give us our first check over here to Catfish, actually. Etienne closely behind.
Yeah, Edium and Ravis have been close to each other for a good chunk of this seed.
And the Catfish with the shield as well. Ugh.
Yeah, Ravis is not going to pick that up. And yeah, as I predicted, he would is going over to Mir into the Zora area, and that's Ether.
Hey, there's our access over here to Misery Mire. Although, let's see, you have access to Misery Mire, but at this point in time, you still need the cane, but you can get all the treasure chests. So possibility, I don't know. That might be a risk ahead there right now.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Ravis decides to take the risk and go over to Misery Mire, hoping that there's something of use. Maybe hoping that the Chaos of Mire would be somewhere, could be in there, and Zora only giving 10 rupees. Looks like Ravis did spot something. Or no, actually no, never mind. He actually is going to take the way out, and yeah, looks like he's going to be heading over to the pod area.
And Etienne is following very closely behind. Meanwhile, Technolink looks like he's going to go and purchase some arrow or bomb upgrades. Bombs. Plus, it gets a refill while you're there.
Yeah, with the money that they've been getting throughout this entire seed, you might as well just get a bit of some upgrades. It's not common, but it does happen. And looks like Technolink is making their way into Ice Palace.
A shield is under what? Thanks, hint.
Yeah, that was that catfish hint.
So we got we have major divergence here, which we kind of expected. We have Etienne with going into Misery Mire. Bird toss. Maybe bird toss. Are we getting a bird toss? Please bird toss.
I mean, there's a position.
Yes!
Hey! Good on you, Eddie.
We live for the memes here.
Not for me, not me specifically, but But Ravis is also open at pod. Yeah, this is the play I would imagine Ravis would be doing.
So good luck. I mean, big shout out to our trackers coming in. Nilson, Alex, and Hibernator. You guys don't have an easy time right now because our runners are in 4 different areas, and 3 of them are new. So thank you so much for all the work that you guys do.
Godmire! And you picked up the big key in the bridge.
Yeah, if only it was actually... Yeah.
And Ravis also picked up the big key in the first chest. Was bow locked. I mean, not like that matters because the bow was picked up pretty early in the seed, and technically is setting up for the Ice Palace bomb jump. Does not get the right pixel.
That looks good. There
That looks good to me. Yep, nails it.
There's a hammer!
Oh!
In pod!
Ravis has a huge lead now. I would be impressed. I would be impressed. I am impressed.
So, I mean, at that point, I think it just came down to numbers. Good on Caladrius. Initiated a weird glitch there, got right back into it. But, you just play the numbers. You know, there are, I think, 5 items total in pod versus 2 in Eastern Palace. So you're like, okay, let's just play the numbers. Play in the numbers, and better luck in pod over the other possibilities.
Yeah, this divergence from Ravis paying off huge, and now we're just pretty much a can Samaria away from go mode.
And I'm going to call it right now. That hint of something unique held by someone friendly. I honestly think we're looking at a green pendant Sahasrara turn in for the Cane of Samaria. That's just my guess at this point.
Yeah, but you're not wrong to think that. And and that was only a compass, and now gonna have to make their way through the front. Gonna be try again. Maybe making the possibility to clear pod, go over to Moldo. What am I saying? Halmasar, that's what it was.
I mean, as people are saying in chat, Uncle gave you the fire rod, although I think we already got an Uncle. Your uncle has the fire rod hint, so I don't know if you can double up on anything but the boots. I'm just not familiar enough with the code particular system, but also the merchant also had the book, so it's possible that one was already taken, but I'm just going to guess because I want to pretend I'm actually right about anything.
Yeah. Again, that unique item is held by someone friendly is not very descriptive.
Meanwhile, Etienne is doing his... I guess this is his first trip into Thieves Town. Avoided it completely the first time. Interesting, I have not been counting items, and I did not count items when Caladrius cleared it. Is there an item that's in the treasure chest, in the big treasure chest, that right now only Ravis has access to?
I have to look till the next menu to find out if he actually does have something. And good hint. It was also a good hint from Eddie finding out that the firelock portions of Tower of Hera, not Tower of Hera, Misery Mire, I think, they're just pretty much nothing. Now Rebus enters the Helmus Arcane fight.
Look at Caladrius now over here, getting ready to pick up his hammer. Caladrius has quietly been kind of keeping pace. He's not been on the same sort of route that Ravius and Etienne have been on, but right now making the correct play over here to Palace of Darkness.
Yeah, this makes huge sense for Caladrius to make their way over to Pod. And Ravis clears Pod, no problems at all.
And jumps right in and says, hey, Eastern's right here. Let's go ahead and knock this out while I'm here.
Yeah, Ravis routing has the advantage over Edium because of the advantage in the sense of Hambro's picked up in Pod. Huge. You might as well route that. Might as well route in Eastern Palace now. I'm not sure if Technolink was made that dev intentional.
It looked like he did for a health refill. Like he wanted to maximize his hearts getting ready for this Mothula fight, which absolutely can be a bit of a bear, not beer.
I mean, you're talking to Mom right now. But Edium clears blind. I believe that was that. I think that was there. I'm not sure if there might have been an item left inside Thieves Town. If there was, it's on the bit chest.
Misstealth 88. Ray had cleared the items out of Eastern Palace, but remember the bow was up on Death Mountain, so he had not cleared that out. Thieves Town Big Chest is compass. Perfect. Thank you, chat, for always keeping us honest. It can be a little bit tough to check everything always.
Yeah, with 4 screens. And speaking of 4 screens, and the bottom right, Ravis clears Armos really quickly thanks to those silver arrows.
Caladrius has the red bumper, dude. So he's got a dash. Oh, and that's just an unfortunate spot to have that.
This is great. that was a great fight.
And it does look like Ravis is setting up to go to Swamp Palace right now, which is a smart play. Swamp Palace, 6 items total. Although you already know at least half of them are going to be junk, based on the hints that we've.
Yeah, thanks to that left side swamp hint being pretty much nothing. He doesn't have to go in there.
So Ravis currently has 6 dungeons down. Etienne has 4, working on his 5th. Caladrius also has 4, working on his 5th. Technolink in 3rd with 3. But man, that Eastern Pod combo can be done very, very quickly. All right, Ravis, what do we got? Oh, he's even skipping.
Interesting play.
Was there a hint somewhere that we know where the Cane of Samaria is? Oh, yeah. Thank you, chat, for correcting me. Caladrius does have 5 done because he has Aga. I missed that one. I thought I saw all of them, but... Yeah, and Mr. Scruff Ninja Tuna, great name, by the way. I think you're right. I think he's also betting, based on that hint, that it's going to be on Green Pendant Saha. Man, that's a tough call to make, though. Because if you're wrong, you have to backtrack.
Yeah. Now, Revis is going to be clearing it, going through it, pretty much go-moding it. Might come back later to check the items later on. It's probably set on going to check the green pendant.
Yeah, he's behaving like this is go mode for him, and it's not quite go mode for Ravis. He's skipping everything right at the moment.
Yeah, and you might have the idea if Samaria is in fact on Sahasrara, this puts him in a huge advantage over Edium and everyone else.
Oh man, that was almost a 0 cycle by Ravis doing that nice dash poke strats on the R guy. That was something special. You don't always get to see people do that. Very clean fight for Ravis.
Yeah, Ravis between huge and quick work of Argus. He grabs that green pendant, and he has that mirror out. He is set on checking Sahasrara.
Yeah, he's doing it. He's trying to read the hints and saying that's the way to go. He is absolutely heading right back there. And if it's not here, do you dive back to Swamp Palace, or do you say, nope, I gambled that away. That's my last return spot?
I'd say go back to Swamp Palace. You might as well cover your bases, like I mentioned before.
Oh my god!
Oh, that is huge for Ravis!
What?
1 hour, 8 minutes. That is go mode for Ravis.
Oh man! So sorry I blew out everyone's ears. I'm sorry. But my god!
Yeah, that was a great play from Ravis, and I am impressed. This is huge for Ravis. He has a big lead now.
I mean, now it's go mode. Like, he's got to do Thieves Town, Ice Palace, Misery Mire, Turtle Rock. And he doesn't have to open anything that he doesn't have to. I mean, this is going to be fast. This is going to be one of the faster all dungeon times I think I've seen in a long, long, long time. Everything just set up perfectly.
Yeah, everything fell into place for Ravis, and as well as Edium. It came down to just that one Samaria play, and it paid off super well with Sahasrara giving Ravis go mode.
Well, and let's not forget that decision earlier, right at about the 48-minute mark, where Etienne, Ravis, and even Caladrius were all very, very close together. Caladrius went Ice Palace. Etienne went Misery Mire. Ravis went Palace of Darkness, and that play, where it led to Ravis getting the hammer in kind of a French vanilla location, really, I think, just led him exactly to where he needed to go. Everyone else is going to have to double dip those dungeons because you weren't able to clear Misery Mire or Ice Palace without those items. Ravis going to be able to one-shot everything. He's in a good spot right now.
Yeah, this is great. This is a great play for him. This is great for everyone, and great for Ravis. And now EDM also making their way into pod. He will be grabbing that hammer. Ravis setting up for the bomb jump. And does it well.
Technolink, meanwhile, is on Helmasaur himself, so he also has the hammer. Made up quite a bit of time by going to what appears to be pod before some of the other runners. Upper, I believe Ravis did at least dip Thieves, like at the first 4 and then left. But I mean, right now, Ravis is set up. He made a stop at the magic shop, so he's in good shape there. You're sitting at 12 hearts. You know, you might be a little bit worried about your magic, but not overly concerned. And then you have Tempered Sword, Red Mail. He's set up fine for the rest of the game. He needs nothing.
Yeah, and also looking at Eddie inside, he did pick up half magic, probably in pod. Not really sure. Or maybe somewhere else.
The one place that Etienne's been that no one else has been is Misery Mire, so maybe in Mire? Oh, and Severox also points, it's a God Mire. It was a very early key check. So, yeah, it's going to be pretty fast for Ravis.
Yeah, everything's falling into place for Ravis. The fact that it's a God Mire. Yeah, this will not be any trouble for Ravis. Ravis making the Mire play. You will begin that God Mire.
I don't know. When you're in go mode, even I would not waste time to bird toss. I don't know if Ravis is going to. I hope he does. At the same time, he's in go mode. He knows he's probably in the lead. He still does bird toss. Oh, the memes.
Hey, you might as well, if you're in go mode and you have that bird toss, just go for it and just don't look back. If I was in go mode right now, I probably wouldn't be bothered to go for the bird toss, just because it wastes just a second. But I mean, go mode with this huge lead, 1 second is a.
So everything that Ravis has done up to this point in time, like, you know, the major risk I think he took was go moding Swamp. So he's feeling pretty good about himself right now. But most of the other plays that he made didn't seem that out of the ordinary, to the point that, you know, he may feel like he's doing well, but he probably feels some pressure. Someone's right behind him, and I don't blame him for that even remotely. This is where the nerves start coming in when you're in the go mode and you still have to get through several dungeons. You're like, God, everything fell perfectly into place. So you're thinking to yourself, a lot of other people probably had it fall into the place too. So you really got to be on top of your game at this point.
Yeah, Ravis. I don't know if I would consider this as a god route, but it has all the showings of a god route.
Seminole Rocks, we had, I believe, 20 entrants today, if I double checked everything. All right, Etienne is now taking a dive over here into Eastern. I believe, is he doing Eastern before Pod? No, he's already done Pod. Okay.
Yeah.
And you see over here Caladrius doing the full clear of Swamp. Not necessarily a bad play, probably one that we all expected Ravis to do, but not needed. And Ravis making real quick work of wonderful Vitreous.
Yeah, good work for Ravis.
Now, fluting over to do Thieves Town right now, and then over to Turtle Rock, being able to go mode both of those dungeons. This has just been a great route up to this point in time. Let's see. Etienne is going to be finishing up Eastern, so he's kind of on the route as well. As soon as he gets down to Swamp, he'll be in good place. Caladrius, as soon as he turns in the green pendant, will also be in go mode. It'll be interesting if he does do that, actually. Technolink is also surprisingly, Technolink, we talked about being behind quite a bit, but after Technolink does this dungeon, he'll be right there with them.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Technolink actually managed to come back this far after having to do a triple dip of Eastern Palace.
Now, worth noting, Technolink also hasn't done AGA 1 yet. That's the one place that everyone else has done that Technolink has avoided. Personally speaking, I try to save AGA 1, if at all possible, until the very end, just because it's good routing to go from AGA 2, mirror over, do AGA 1, and then you get that full health refill just before Ganon.
I mean, on the contrary, since Ravis had to do AGA 1 just because he was in the vicinity of the room, he won't have to worry about having to do a longer sequence. I mean, because it's just him going up to AGA 2, then Ganon. That's it.
No, absolutely true. I mean, it's a time sink no matter when you have to do it. It's just a matter of when you choose to do it.
Yeah, if the logic seems right for you, then go for it.
All right, Caladrius now diving into, going to finish off Ice Palace. Should be relatively quick. All Caladrius has is Ice, Misery Mire, and Turtle Rock. Ravis is finishing up Thieves Town and Turtle Rock. Etienne has those 4 dungeons yet to clear, though. That's I am really surprised, and that's kind of just the nature of Rando, that Etienne was, I think, in the straight line race, he and Ravis were neck and neck, or even Etienne was in the lead there for a bit, and just one decision different. And all of a sudden, Etienne is way behind in terms of the straight line race between Ravis and him.
Yeah. With the decision to go into Meyer, that pretty much gave the opportunity for Ravis to take advantage of him getting in the lead, and get into Go mode. And speaking of Go mode, Technolink has grabbed the can of Samaria, and now he's in Go mode.
Yep, all of our runners, Etienne is the only one not in Go mode right now. He is finishing up Swamp Palace, and it depends on where he decides to go after Swamp Palace. Does he go turn that pendant in immediately or go elsewhere? That's the big question.
I believe if I was Eddie right now, I would turn in that green pendant. That way he won't have to go. That way he doesn't have to do any unnecessary checks. Probably full clearing. Going back into Swamp Palace, full clearing that, and then probably going to Turtle Rock, which is a nightmare scenario for Eddie. It would not be worth it.
The nice thing about Etienne and going through his mind right now, he knows that the cane can be in very limited number of places. It can be on Sahasrara. It can be in Ice Palace. He's already cleared out Misery Mire, and it can be nowhere in Turtle Rock. And because Misery Mire is the crystal, he also knows it can't be anywhere in Ganon's Tower. So he knows there's a lot of the game that's actually blocked off from it right now, which is good for him. It's just a matter of does he, the two places that he needs to check are in Ice Palace or on Sahasrara. So which one does he go to first?
Like I said, Sahasrara. That would be the good play for Eddie. Just so he can get back in a relative position that he can pretty much catch up with Ravis. Because right now it's Ravis' race to lose.
Big key already there for Ravis. He's gonna check probably for some small keys, but he's gonna be able to skip quite a bit right now. Oh, Etienne is taking the big bomb. Oh, man. Okay, so, I mean, the extra locations are at least on his mind.
And there was another bottle inside Turtle Rock. That makes up all the bottles. And, now to be fair, Ravis turning in the big bomb is not a bad idea, because he could possibly route in Sahasrara as well. He is there. He's really close. And all it gave out was 2 heart pieces.
That's a little insulting. When you're just looking for your go mode item and only get 2 pieces of heart, that's a little insulting.
Yeah.
That was rude, Fairy. Oh, looks like he's heading that direction, though. Oh, Etienne. Over under, what's the number of rage slashes here for Etienne?
I don't know. All 4 runners are in go mode.
It looks like Etienne's going immediately over to Ice Palace to be able to go mode Ice Palace. Ravis is... Oh, he's going to go ahead and check the big treasure chest. He's hoping for another key. He's hoping he can be able to skip Laser Bridge. Don't know if that's necessarily going to work out, but he'll at least be able to skip Mimic Cave over here. All right, we got cleanup going on right now. And there's another key. Ravis is going to be able to skip Laser Bridge, I believe. While these runners are running through their respective dungeons, kind of playing cleanup, make sure to give these runners a follow.
Right now, from it's Storm.
Domo, arigato. Anyway, yeah, don't, go ahead and give these runners a follow. Etienne, Technolink, Caladrius, and Ravis. These guys are doing great work for us, volunteering to be featured. It's not easy putting yourself out. Ravis with a very clean, getting all the switches that he needs to get done right away. Man, that was just a clean fight there. Getting a big 50 rupes for his troubles. And that is the last dungeon. We have Ganon's Tower, Aga 2. And guys, help me out. It's been so long. Do we still play the big key guessing game? Is that still a thing that we do? I'm not going to start a tracker, but oh, 1 through 22. Get your guesses in. Which treasure chest opened by Ravis will hold the Ganon's Tower big key? We have all over the place. I'm gonna guess number 9. I'm feeling lucky number 9 today. All right, Bloopy, 50. Another small key. Man, all of the keys. All right, we're still going through here. That's my counting is a little bit rusty. Is that number 8? That was number 6. Okay, so he didn't do All right, he didn't do the right side or the right side routing first. Okay, thank you guys. We're trying to get everything back. So that's number 7, just another 50 roops. Meanwhile, we have Caladrius, who is entering Turtle Rock. Etienne close on the heels. Yeah, incoherent. I thought the same thing. Full left in 2019. What's that? 8. 9 was the magic mushroom. 10 was the boomerang. 11. Piece of heart. Okay, so he's mirroring out. Did not go back. Okay, sure. Oh, that dash. And it was right there. It could have been number 2, but instead it was like number 11, I think. 13, Key Dog. Yeah, I hope Ravis learned a valuable lesson. Just do right. Just do it. It's 2 checks, and if it's the key, man, it saves you so much time. Worth noting that no one has finished yet. Right now, on stream, Ravis appears to be in first place, but there are other runners that are a part of this. No one else has finished yet, though. Now we enter the gauntlet, which looks like is being at least a little bit cooperative of him. Missed some things there. I wonder if nerves are getting to him. Oh, very clean second. Meanwhile, Etienne's on his way up to Turtle Rock. Caladrius is also already in Turtle Rock. The problem with Caladrius is he only has a Master Sword. He ended up missing one of the sword upgrades. I believe it was Stumpy is what chat was saying earlier, which means his fights are going to be a little bit longer. That may allow Etienne to catch up and even pass him. There's still quite a bit of game to go yet. The difference between Master Sword spins and tempered swings, especially on Ganon, is quite a bit of time, let alone everything between here and there. Technolink is on Ice Palace right now. He'll start his Turtle Rock climb before too long, but then remember, he's also got Agate 1 that he's going to have to do. Yes, Ravis's timer just read. I think that's just the split counter that he has. So he won't have a PB, but man, he'll be close. He's going to be very, very pleased with this time, I think, especially for an all dungeons. And so he is now out of magic, but he has plenty of keys. Oh no, what's Techno doing? Help fill me in, guys. Botterham, it's alright. The nice thing about the speedrunning community, especially the Legend of Zelda Link to the Past rando community, is they are incredibly welcoming and will help walk you through anything. Join us on the Discord. In fact, if you guys haven't already joined us, if you want to get into speedrunning, have any questions about speedrunning, this game or any of our other games, join us over on the Speed Gaming Discord or the Link to the Past Randomizer Discords. Ask questions. This is what we're here for. This is one of the best online communities you can join. We're awesome. Come join us. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Frostbite 3030 just finished in first place with a time of 1:35.06. Ravis had his first place win stolen from. But all right, Ravis enters, and this is going to be a really quick Ganon fight. It's going to be very, very close. And I think he's done the damage to go ahead. He's in the third phase now. Wayne also just finished in second place at 1:36.36. And I mean, it's Wayne. It's Wayne. I mean, Wayne probably made like 5 bad moves, and it's still because he's amazing. Wayne. That was weird. It look. Oh. Even with Tempered Sword, does a spin attack help Ganon fight go from phase 1 to phase 3 in one cycle? It can. I mean, it's just extra damage, and a lot of people do it. And Ravis, GG, defeats Ganon. Now, can he get over the most dangerous 1x3 bridge in the entire game? Yes, he does. GG, Ravis, finishing in third place at 1:37.10, so within a minute of Boyne. Let's see if we can't get some other folks here. See if Ravis can get in here. Although Etium and Caladrius are now in the same room in Turtle Rock. Oh my goodness. Techno Link is on his way up. Remember, Techno still has Aga 1 that he's going to have to do. And joining us now, Ravis. GG's, man. So, what lesson did you learn from that raid?
You're not referring to Hope Room, right?
Right side, man. Right side.
As soon as I saw the biggie, I was like, nope, not gonna be first today. And yeah.
Man, it was so close between all of you guys. You had amazing routing up through there. Everything just seemed to be lining up perfectly for you. Oops.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about just go moding pod and banking on Swamp. If I do that, I probably win the day. But I don't want to go for like would have, should have. That's, you know, everybody does mistakes in a race and stuff happens. And I'm super glad about how I played today. Unfortunately, the big key was in the wrong location, but that's what sometimes happens.
The big key was exactly where it needed to be to crush everyone's hopes and dreams, I think. But it was an amazing race. What prompted you, and I think I know the answer to this, but what prompted you to go mode Swamp Palace and then just go straight back, get the pendant, and go. Was it the hint that?
Yes, it was the hit, of course, but I knew where the single arrow was, so I had 1 in a 3 chance. And the highest dense location is Ganon's Tower, but Somaria couldn't be there, and that's the only unique item which could have not been in there. So it had an even higher chance than 33% for me, percent chance for me. At that moment, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna take that definitely.
So, did it ever cross your mind that the book was sold by the bottle vendor and it could have been referred?
Yeah, but still, I'm sometimes thinking that the chance of a specific hint to come is higher if it's like it refers to one item, but if it could refer to multiple items, then the chance to the specific hint is generally higher. So it was like, okay, let's go Catfish and Zora. Luckily, I go there. I find my ether. That's important because if I get the hammer, the world is open, and I don't know where I would look for ether.
Well, you're in luck. You weren't the only one. It looks like Etienne is doing kind of a dark magician strat. He went to the left first and now is going right. But Caladrius got the key, so those two are neck and neck right now. Although Caladrius is actually going to go try to find some more keys because he went right side first. My goodness. I mean, do you have anything else? Was there any point in time where you felt good? You're like, yeah, I'm clearly in the lead right now because you played like it.
Yeah, I felt pretty good about the items. Like the flute was insane on the ether tablet. I was like, remember you can use the mirror to get into Hera from the east side. And then I find the flute and I was like, oh my god, what is happening right now? What is happening right now? Yeah, I mean, again, a pot dip without having the hammer. Turns out the hammer is right there. Yeah, it was a decent seed, definitely. I mean, mid Dark World access is a thing, but it's not too bad actually if you like play it correctly. Of course, correctly is not. You don't know that if you're doing that until you finish the seed. But I mean, pot was the most item dense location, and Bo didn't block anything yet, so it made sense to have something there.
I mean, I recall that Death Mountain, both light and dark, just being absolutely stacked. And as soon as you got access to it, it felt like that was the right play to make. And man, you got so many items up there.
Oh yeah, definitely. There's actually one thing I was a little bit mad about. What happened at the start at Ice Rod Cave? That was not fun.
I wasn't gonna bring that up, man. I mean,
It's okay. It's okay. I gotta bring it up myself because I can laugh about that. That's okay. I just hope there's nothing in Ice Road Cave.
Well, I don't think there is. I don't know if I've actually seen anyone actually on screen get it. So maybe nothing.
Yeah, I mean, Max is sword or half magic, I guess. Got everything else.
3 bombs is what I'm hearing from chat right now. 3 bombs.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure at this point, half magic had to be in Misery Mire because you and Etienne were kind of neck and neck up until that point where you went to Pod, he went to Misery Mire, and Caladrius went to Ice Palace. Like, you three were just right there at the same time. And then, yeah, each just went to a different dungeon and made our trackers' lives really interesting for a bit.
Sorry.
It's all right. That's what makes the race fun.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, when you start tracking, you have to imagine that you might be suiciding a little bit at some point in a race, but I guess there are cool people which are not first time tracking, and even if you do first time tracking, you're gonna get there.
Check 1, 2.
Oh, hey.
Hey. Sorry about that, guys. I do not know what happened. My audio just broke.
So I just want to get something off right now. Prof, you know I love you, and Angels, usually you guys are commentating. Today, I was absolutely shocked when I saw Vitasia on the commentary, because I have heard him so much and so often. And it was like the spring tournament last year, and I was so amazed by your commentary, and I was so happy to see that you're commentating today. And I was obviously super happy about being picked for the restream.
Oh, well, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I mean everybody's cool in this whole scene here in the Link to the Past randomizer. But there are some people which I definitely very, 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 very much appreciate, and that's definitely you guys and Angels, of course, and all the most commentators. I haven't met any bad ones, so maybe I would. I don't think so, but
this community is so great. But anyway, any final thoughts on the scene?
I just want to say thanks to everybody. Thanks to Aces for restreaming, picking me the others. I guess Chat had a lot of fun with this seed when we were all neck and neck. That's pretty cool. We're definitely gonna rewatch that. And also thanks you, I think Nils and Alex, who's tracking with Hibernator, who was tracking as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much. One more time, Ravis, big shout out to him. Coming in third place there, giving us a good show. Thank you so much, Ravis. Etienne, meanwhile, is on his Ganon fight. Caladrius still trying to finish up the tower. Had a little bit of rougher time in the gauntlet. Technolink is currently just entering Ganon's tower, but he's still got Aga 1 to do as well. So we'll be sticking around for all of them. Caladrius on Moldorm 2. Caladrius getting bodied in that last room a little bit. Etienne getting very close. Explosions! And Etienne does defeat Ganon, just has to cross that bridge. Whew. GG Etienne looks like finishes in 10th place with an official time of 1:47.47. GG Etienne. See if we can't get him in here. Meanwhile, Caladrius right there, gonna start his Ganon fight. Hey, a big shout out to Frostbite 3030 in chat right now, coming in with first place. Welcome, Frostbite. Oh, and there's the man, the myth, the legend, Etienne. GG's, sir.
Oh, sorry. GG's.
GG.
So walk us through. You know, it looked like you were actually ahead of Ravis there for a while. Walk us through that decision that you made. to go to Misery Mire and actually dive into that place before. There was a time you, Caladrius, and Ravis were all neck and neck. He went Pod, you went Misery Mire, Caladrius went Ice, actually. Walk us through your decision to go to Misery Mire first.
I had just gotten Ether Medallion from the Waterfall Cave, and I don't know, I kind of felt like that was pointing to Mire, but it was also partly a gamble. Pod is probably the better play, but I just felt like mixing it up. All I really got out of that was half magic, so yeah, other than that, I mean, and yeah, it was just kind of an annoying seed. Anytime you have Hammer and Pod, the seed is gonna be annoying for me, at least.
Yeah, it felt like the seed gave you a lot of tools really early on, and then just kind of left you to hope where Hammer and then Cane of Samaria was. Luckily, a lot of the dungeons that you guys had left were kind of blocked off by those two. It just became a gamble at that one spot. And, Pod was the play, unfortunately.
Yep.
I do want to take a second to say Caladrius did finish in 12th place at 150.55. Let's see if we can get him in here to join us as well. Was there any point in time that you felt really good about your routing decisions, Etienne, and maybe not so good at any other point in time?
The early game, like I dipped into Eastern pretty early, and that paid off. I felt good about my early game routing, but then I got bogged down looking for that hammer. I don't know, I don't mind the Misery Mire play that much. It's a gamble I make sometimes, because especially like when I just got the medallion for it, after having also just gotten the flippers, I tend to sometimes like to just follow items that I've just gotten, and that led me to Mire. So, I don't know, I don't feel too bad about it, but Pod was probably the better play overall.
Well, I can understand that rationale, absolutely. I think we've all made similar plays, here and there. Ban hovering, huh, for your name?
Yeah. I had a seed yesterday where the hook shot, the swamp was a pendant, and the hook shot was buried deep in pendant Turtle Rock. And so there was one guy that hovered it and finished about 20 minutes ahead of everyone else. So that's why hovering should be banned.
Well, luckily, you had pretty early boots, so no one really had to worry about that, thankfully. In the meantime, joining us, Caladrius. GG, sir.
Hello, thank you. GG's. It was a pretty nice seed.
So this
everything's done.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. You can go ahead.
Well, I was going to ask both of you, what was the overall feeling of the seed? It felt pretty front-loaded from us observing it, but did it feel that way for you guys as well?
Yeah, definitely gave us a lot of nice items early on, just no hammer.
Yeah, the hammer spot was nice. But especially Death Mountain, Eastern Death Mountain on Light Road felt really nice.
Yeah, I think, counting everything that was on Death Mountain, the flute was in the ether spot. There was at least a sword, the bow, I think the mirror, Titan's mitts. It was just a stacked location between Light and Dark World, and you guys were able to route it kind of all over the place there.
Yeah, there were a lot of options for people to explore, so I guess there were some pretty different routes on stream.
Well, the interesting thing that ended up happening was Etienne, Caladrius, and Ravis, actually, who finished in third, you all were kind of neck and neck at one point in time. There was a little bit mixed, but it all kind of bottlenecked around the time where you were all looking for the hammer. And Ravis went pod first, Etienne went Misery Mire, and Caladrius, you ended up doing Ice Palace. Now, I think we've all been in that spot where it could have been any one of those spots, and it was just literally a coin flip. Meanwhile, Technolink, in it for the memes, decides he's going to just pull the pedestal because...
Yeah, my routing, I did CAC from the south, so I was able to check the pedestal like 6 minutes in or something.
Wow.
Yeah, it was it was fun to watch that particular route because it's like, well, let's go ahead and kill all hope of a pedestal being pulled at any point in time so early.
The only reason I took that route was because I had a bit of a rough escape, and I finished escape with half a heart, and so I was like, I don't want to like start walking to Kakariko and then get killed by like a bird or something. So I just save and quit and started from Link's house instead. And that's the only reason I did that.
Well, Technolink is now, after his meme-tastic run, is now on his AGA 1. Everyone else cleared it out kind of in the natural order of things. I mean, I like the routing of doing AGA 1 last just because you get the health refill, but so Technolink doing kind of a good job here. So you guys know, Technolink ran a pretty decent route. I think the only main error he ended up making, which did exactly what I would do, which is why I don't run anymore. He got the hook shot in Eastern Palace right around the same time everyone else did, but noped out and said, I don't need to, this is exactly where I need to go. So he didn't get the Moon Pearl and then ended up having to triple dip, and it really put him behind, unfortunately.
That's rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, for an all dungeon seed, I think, I don't know how close it is to PB for all dungeon standard for you guys. If you keep track of that, how do you guys do on your PB?
I don't know if I've even had a sub 150 before. I really don't remember.
This actually was my first all dungeon seed, so it's a PB.
Hey,
Professor.
I think it's that for your first all dungeon seed, you got like a sub 2, and that's really rare to get a sub 2. Just the logic, all the items fell into place, and overall, a great way to enter the world of all dungeons, which primarily takes 2 hours.
Oh, yeah, I was really surprised by how fast it went by.
Yeah, I can't imagine most all dungeon seed. I mean, this is going to be one of the more friendly ones. I mean, we were talking nightmare scenarios for a bit. So, okay, what can be in Ganon's tower that people will have to dip in and get that and then dip out?
Oh yeah, I was fearing that.
I actually played another standard all dungeons just a few hours before this one, and that one was much rougher. It had the ice rod in GT. That one, I think I got like a 205 or something. It was quite a bit rougher than this one. And it had the boots in Turtle Rock, so you had to walk for most of the seed. Yeah, this one I decided to do Aga early because only because I wanted to go to pod, and I figured I'll just route in Aga with going to pod instead of having to walk around the whole Dark World.
Yeah, I did the same thing. but first I checked the Zora domain after I did Aga 1. It felt like the natural way to get there.
I did that with Catfish.
It's not like Zora had anything useful for us.
What was it? 10 arrows, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
All right, so Technolink continuing his memes. Bugnet strats on Aga 1 because why not?
Alright, I'm gonna step out. Thanks for commentating and tracking and everything.
All right, thank you, Etienne and Caladrius as well. While we have you here, don't forget to follow all of the runners here: Ravis, Caladrius, Etienne, and Technolink. Chad, if you're still around, let's give Technolink all your love and support. He's doing this for the people. He's doing it for the memes, and I know Chad loves the memes. So get your love in for Technolink as he tries to finish up this game and fight. Alright, he is now on phase 3. He's got lag beams rolling. Just use the blue potion. Oh, he even ended up getting the torch glitch as well with the fire rod. Very clean phase 4, I would say, for Technolink. All right, and Technolink, can he cross the final 1x3 bridge? Oh. Just delay just a little bit. GG Technolink does finish in 18th place with a time of 2:02:24. GG Technolink. Let's see if we have time for a quickie interview here. And joining us now is Technolink. For the memes, sir.
GG.
So, it was kind of a rough run for you. You made up a lot of time, though, after that triple dip Eastern play that really kind of knocked you off. Was it just all about the memes at that point in time? Techno, you're lit up, but I cannot hear you.
There. Here we go. Yeah, so as I was saying, after the triple dip into Eastern, I was already a bit tilted, and then I died at Cold Stare, so at that point it was like, yeah, well, let's just kill Aga 1 with Swagnet and pull the pet, just in case.
It's all right. You may have not won the race, but you won our hearts, and I think that's really all that matters, isn't it?
That's the way it is. And even so, like 202 after a literal train wreck, I don't know. It's still decent for all.
Yeah, for an all dungeons run, 202 is still a really good time for an all dungeons run. Now the seed was very kind to everyone, but I mean you made up quite a bit of time. We found that a lot of people on stream, Ravis was the only one who went pod as early as you could. Everyone else kind of checked other dungeons, tried to figure out where things went, and you made up a lot of time, I think, by going pod first as well.
Yeah, like the moment I actually went into Thieves Town at the start, I was like, okay, I don't have the hammer. Good chance there's something here. Then I was looking at the pendants, so I knew that the hammer had to be before Pet. I knew Pet was dead anyhow. So I started wondering, should I dip ice? Most people won't dip ice early, so I hope to gain a bit of time there. And at that point, it was like, okay, so it's probably not in Skullwoods because I can full clear that. It's probably not in Thieves Town because I can full clear that. Then there's only one or two places that I can't clear without getting the hammer. So that would be Pod, which actually locks itself out from the southern side of Hyrule in Dark World. So that was my own guess there. But I'm getting the feeling like if I found the pearl a lot earlier, yeah, that was the most horrible part. You find the hookshot, you're like, yes, we have some kind of location. I'll need to find a pearl one chest later.
Yeah, that was kind of the heartbreaker, and we were concerned about it, and it ended up being kind of the big one. But still, GG, you gave us an entertaining ending at the very least, and you know, what else can you do except hope to be entertained?
Exactly, right. At the very least, thanks for sticking around quite a bit longer than most.
Absolutely. Just wanted to just a programming note. You know, later tonight, 9 o'clock Eastern, will just be a standard. It won't be an all dungeon, just a regular everyday standard mode run. Tomorrow's races, we have an open mode at 2 p.m., but tomorrow's 9 p.m. is going to be a spoiler log open. So that is going to be kind of an interesting race tomorrow evening. I might tune in for that one myself. Do we have any other kind of closing thoughts, Technolink, or any other runners that's still in the channel?
If you can't be fast, do it for the memes.
Well said. Professor Renderer, I know you've been kind of hit and miss. Are you here? Do you have any final?
I'm here. Just don't have anything else to say. But wow, that's all I can say. Wow, this seed was. If I was running it, I would have been really happy because everything falls into place, and yeah.
Oh, it was a fun race to watch, and I might try to steal this seed just to make myself feel better about an all dungeons time. Otherwise, we're going to try to get out of here. Once again, go ahead and follow our runners, Technolink, Ravis, Caladrius, and Etienne. Also, make sure to go ahead and follow Speed Gaming's 1 through 6 for all of your speed gaming needs. Also, one last quick shout out to our trackers, Hibernator and Nilson Alex. Thank you guys so much. And of course, my co-commentator, Professor Renderer. Pleasure working with you, sir. I don't know if we've worked together before. It's been a long time since I've jumped in. I had shaken a little bit of rust off.
No, I don't think we have, and it's an honor being with you too.
Yep, but with that, we're going to go ahead and jump out of here. My name is Potato.
And I'm Professor Renderer.
And we'll see you guys at the next race. Take care.
See ya.